This one goes out to all the haters out there that are trying to take away my moment. You see, of the three of us on this podcast, I am the only one who has carded a hole-in-one. It was a magnificent day. I was on the 8th hole of the Jordan River par 3 course. It was 98 yards to the pin and it required a little draw to get around a tree. I hit the shot perfectly and lost track of the ball as I went into the shadows of the waning evening light. As I went to the green, I was unable to locate my ball, and after almost 2 minutes of looking for it everywhere, I concluded that it must have been hit too far and ended up in the Jordan River just behind the hole. I took a drop and hit my ball close to the pin, and as I reached down to pick up the pin, I found my first ball in the hole. Now, there are some haters out there that will say that my hole-in-one doesn't count for a few reasons. Number one, I was golfing alone. No one was with me to see this magnificent thing happen. Although I am pretty sure quite a few people heard me when I went absolutely berserk on that 8th hole. Number two, I was on a par 3 course, and some people don't consider par 3 courses real golf courses. And third, I didn't see the ball go into the hole. All of these seem like very good reasons to think that a hole-in-one shouldn't count. Here is my counter argument. Scorecard, hole 8, shot count 1. Suck it, haters, I'm counting it. This is for the record.
Golf, the hardest game we love to play. These are the ramblings of 3 nerdy golfers.
Our continuing mission? Explore strange new swing techniques to seek out lower handicaps and awesome golf courses.
And to boldly swing where a safe layup would have been the smarter choice.
All right, welcome to another For the Record. Today we have a round recap. We're going to revisit our goals, see how well we did. We have a This or That by Cody and a Talk Nerdy to Me, and then a Birdie Bev.
Absolutely. Let's talk about today's round because as John
Or we could not.
Well, we also had a round last week too, just John Paul and I. You weren't here.
Oh, yeah, I was not there. Give us a quick recap of last week since I was absent.
Okay, it's been a bit, so I think I played pretty well. Not amazing, but I played pretty well. My driver last week was not great. I posted a 49, and my handicap went up. So I don't know what was up with that. I dropped to 60, but the golf gods don't love me.
Man, that's tough. That's rough, buddy.
Yeah, my round last week was pretty unremarkable. It was a 45, so nothing great, nothing too bad. My driver was much better last week than it was today, though.
Yeah.
If you could shoot a 45 consistently every week,
I'd be pretty
or
happy
have
with
a
it.
round where you shoot below 40, but then you also flip-flop and go over 50, what would you take?
Well, to be fair, though, with the 45, we did play whites last week.
Okay.
In your absence, and so
we
the 45
also-
is not as nice as you think it is, just because.
Any reason? I hope you don't play the blues just because of me. Like,
Oh no, we totally do play the blues
Oh,
just
yeah.
because of you.
Oh,
There's
really?
No question.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
talked about it a few times. You're the one that pushes to the blue.
It's okay. I don't want you to feel. I know you enjoy playing back there, and it's good for the differential.
Yeah, it's
so
not
I
that,
don't have a problem with it.
that big a difference.
But we had Parker with us last week, and he was like, "So why are we doing this?" And I said, "Oh, we play the blues for Cody." And he's like, "Why do we play the blues for Cody?" Is it he likes playing back there? It helps the differential, and it's totally fine. But the recommended handicap for people to play from the blues versus the whites is a 15. None of us are there.
It's not that how they recommendation. There are two trains of thought. One is
Yes.
how you have it. The other is driver distance.
Correct.
And 7-iron distance.
Correct. And by the first metric, we should definitely be playing whites, and by the second metric, we should definitely be playing blues. And so we figured since you weren't there, we'd just go ahead and play whites.
we split the difference.
Okay.
We split the difference, and it was okay. It weirdly, it doesn't make that much of a difference, but it does make some.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we learned that there's definitely a big difference from the tips to the reds.
Oh yeah, that's humongous.
Yeah. So last week, just to give a little recap, I was in the trees all day last week. I couldn't not hit a tree. And then the hole 5 with the multi-tiered green, that one I ended up in that hallway of trees off to the right, and I hit 5 trees in a row.
It sounded like a lumberjack over there. Was like
Every time I tried to get through them, it just hit one.
whack
And
flap.
I had one that bounced off the tree and went into this lady's yard, and she was in there. I was like, sorry. Yeah, it was rough.
Man.
If Eric was not such a level-headed individual and so kind and peaceable, it would have sounded like whack, thwap, dang it. Whap, thwap, dang it. Whap, thwap, dang it.
What is that golf towel you can buy? It's
Oh, I have it.
is
Yeah.
it swing, hit, swear, repeat? Or
No, it's swing. Hit ball, swear, look for ball, repeat.
So tell it. Can we switch to today's round?
Yeah,
Or do you have
yeah.
anything else
No, you-
to say?
Go for it.
Well, I just kind of piggybacking on that because I don't know if you kept track of the number of trees that you hit. Parker was keeping track of the number of trees that he hit today.
It was high.
And I almost want to give him an award for most trees hit in a row. He hit a lot.
Yeah, last week I hit 5 in a row.
Wow.
This week I didn't hit any. I was treeless.
So you started off with a really good round today, Eric, and I'd say you finished pretty decently. But
Yeah, we had some tricky.
what do you think happened? As the sun was going down, we ran out of daylight, and I noticed that as we got to the greens, that's where it seemed you struggled more. Like your driver was very consistent all day,
Yeah,
and even your iron approaches in were fine. It was the chipping and putting towards the end of the day that got you.
more putting than chipping. Chipping, I added 1 extra stroke, but the putting, I couldn't read the greens. It was so dark. I kept thinking, oh, it's going to break like crazy this way. And then I'd putt, and it didn't do that at all. And
Yeah.
the last 2 holes in particular, those are the 8th hole in particular, that green was wicked hard to get in. And I was lucky to
Yeah.
make a double on that.
I've got something I'd like to talk about this round, and it might go off on a tangent, but I do want to talk about an observation about your putting today, because I did notice that you were struggling on putting in the second half of the round. You missed everything on the low side. Everything was on the low side, which means you underread almost every break.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying. I couldn't read
Yeah.
it because it was so dark.
And I think what we need to do better, I don't think it would take too much more time. We need to be giving each other reads.
Okay.
I think that's a reasonable thing where we should be looking at one another's lines just briefly and saying, "Oh no, it's more than that." You know, I struggle reading greens. I have struggled a little bit with lag putting. My putting hasn't actually been too terrible recently, but what's really been interesting is that I have been over reading breaks. Like I've been playing way more break than I think is there. And I have very rarely missed on the high side. Those greens on that course break way more than you think they do.
It depends on the hole though too, because there were a couple holes where you gave it plenty of respect, but you hit it short again. And I know that you've been working on that.
When you're lined up on the high side and you hit it, even if you're aimed high, if you hit it too weakly, it's still going to end up low side and trickle away.
Well, and I think
yeah.
that 8th hole was a bit of a mound because
gosh, that is an awful green.
You went around, you lipped like 3 different directions on that
I
one.
know, it was awful.
Yeah, I had struggles on that green as well because I hit and I thought it was going to go almost 45 degrees to the right by the end of the cup. It shot out left on me.
It did. It was
So-
a rough hole
So-
for everyone.
I told you I was going to tangengify on this.
Yeah.
That's totally a word.
I'm sure it is.
I hope this doesn't sound petulant or whiny, but we need to do a better job helping each other while we're out there. Like we really do need to be. I need encouragement. We're going to put it that way. I need encouragement.
So what I'm hearing is if we want the direction to go that we want it to, so that one of us wins, we have to ignore what he's saying.
No,
Okay, so riddle me this, John Paul, because I thought that I was being a much better sport today than I have maybe in
Yes.
previous rounds. And, hey, good shot. All right. Give me an example of what type of encouragement. Maybe it's pre-shot instead of post-shot.
Yeah, it's more just I don't, like I said, I don't want to sound like a big whiner or anything of that nature, but like it's like I try actively to I don't help you guys as much as I should. Okay, so I'm gonna own that. Like I saw a couple of your lines where I thought that you were lined up low, and I should have said something, and didn't do it. There's not a lot of support there, and people can always ignore, but I'd have been like, oh, I think it might be higher than that or something of that nature. But that's not really what I'm talking about. It's more just like I try and I'm hoping that one of you guys wins this thing. I really am hoping that one of you guys wins this thing. I feel like you guys don't want me to post good rounds.
Well, okay. So in my
And that's fair because we're in a competition, but like at the beginning I was just like, oh, I'd love to post this. Like it's like a barb. I mean, it hurts.
That's a little bit fair, but I will say that right when I showed up to the course today, when you were on the driving range, you leaned over to me and said, "Hey, Cody, it's the last scoring round. I hope to throat stomp you."
I did.
And I was like,
But-
whoa!
But
yeah, you can't say something
As
like
we
that
were-
and then get mad.
so the thing that set me, so that you know the exact moments, we were on the putting green, and I was talking about working towards getting back into form.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh, you came right back, and you were immediately right back in it, and gave this whole thing like you went out in there, shot a 42. No, I haven't. You can go look at my scores since my history. I have shot more rounds in the 50s than I've shot in the 40s since I got back.
When you went with your brothers and posted your
pre-surgery.
was that pre-surgery?
That's what I'm saying. I haven't had a good round since I got back.
Well,
I've
then-
had a 43.
Then I apologize. That's
Everything
not fair.
else has
I
been-
thought it was post-surgery.
I've had a couple of 45s and some 43s and a bunch of 50 and over rounds. And so you guys have this impression that I'm 100% back. I'm still massively struggling to find my swing. And that's fine. I knew that was going to be the case. I need encouragement. I need you guys to want me to get better.
Where are you losing it though? Because your driver is doing great for you.
Doing pretty good.
Your irons are okay. Maybe
It's short game.
There were a
It's
couple
chipping.
of duffs here and there, but
Commit.
okay.
So
It's chipping. Yeah.
I haven't been giving a lot of encouragement one way or the other because one, we're walking, so we're all a little more tired, so we're not chatting as much.
Mm-hmm.
And two, I kind of thought that everybody was trying to be in the zone. So I was, because nobody else was talking, I was like, okay, I'm just going to be quiet. I think John Paul just wants to play.
Well, and I had a kind of a rough day today, and it's interesting because we're going to talk about goals in a little bit, and we talked about grumpy pants. I have made such an effort this year not to bring work to the golf course.
That's hard.
Today I failed. I couldn't. I was so mentally exhausted after today. And for those who would like the inside scoop on why, it was elementary school picture day, and we do the old-fashioned kind. So if you are in the education business and you're the principal and you know what picture day looks like, you know why I had a hard time bringing any mental game to the golf course today. That is an exhausting, drama-filled, very difficult day. And I came to the course and just it's probably all in my head, but I was like, oh my gosh, they just want me to put up a 50 today.
So can I tell you, I'm going to unveil a little of Cody's inner thinking here.
Yes.
When you had your sub 18 handicap, I was legitimately happy for you. There's a part of me, of course, that wants to, beat you because that's just competitive nature. And where did I see someone say it the other day? It's like, you're not my enemy, you're my rival. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, I don't want you to post really bad scores. It's just tough because from my perspective, I see you hit good shots. You probably remember the bad shots. And every time I see you hit, he's just like, he hit another great shot. Like, I don't have any doubt that you're going to hit a bad one. There were a couple today that, some trees literally reached out and grabbed it and threw it down at the base of the tree. Mm-hmm. But, so that's the kind of the dichotomy. It's like, I don't want you to fail, but maybe I don't do a really good job when it's kind of like, oh, okay, because I do want to win. And so it's a balancing act of I want my friend to win or do well,
Yeah.
but since we've said this is a competition, I do want to excel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One thing I think that could be helped for you is the resetting after each hole.
Mm-hmm.
You tend to carry the swing thought of the last hole, like, oh, I didn't commit. So I've heard you say, like, the next one, like, commit, even more, because you've got that. So today, one thing that I did, I told you that there is no spoon.
Yep.
I was specifically focusing on each shot. Like, I was trying to empty my mind of all other thoughts and distractions.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was doing my practice swings, it was less about the feel of the swing and more just clearing out the day's work, everything, physically pushing it out of my mind, and then lining up, taking a deep breath. And it helped a ton, I feel like.
Yeah.
Well,
and I shouldn't have any expectation that anybody's going to do it. I don't know if you guys noticed how much my mental game struggled today. Like I was trying to reset after each hole. I was trying to reset, and I just couldn't get it. And I was just aggravated, and I was just like, oh, man, I just need a pat on the back. I was so...
maybe we just misread the situation, because on hole 2, you hit it short of the green. You go up there, and you duffed your chip, and we're still short of the green.
Yeah.
You walked right up to the ball, and I said, John Paul, pause, reset, take your time on the re-hit.
Mm-hmm.
And you did, and you hit a good chip, and I was like, hey, that was good. In my mind, I was like, hey, I'm being nice. I'm going to be encouraging. When you had a couple of other shots that got away from you and you got frustrated, in my mind, I thought, oh, he doesn't want he doesn't want the talking to, so I'm not going to.
Yeah.
No, and it was helpful that you told me to reset before that chip, because I was frustrated.
But I think that's a fair assessment for all of us of, I agree.
Do we need a word for I'm upset, but I don't want you to stop talking? Like, because sometimes when someone's upset, you think, okay, I just need to leave them alone. They'll cool off.
Yeah, no, it was fine. A joke or something of that nature would have been plenty. And it isn't like we didn't have a good time today. I had a great time today. It was beautiful weather. It was a lovely course. It was great. We just barely beat the dark, and so we managed to get the round in, which was great. And any day golfing is a good day. I was just. It was mostly just that thing on the green. It was like, you're back and you're 100%. I'm so far from back.
I didn't realize that.
I am
so I'm
super
sorry.
frustrated. My handicap is creeping up, and I had it down below 18, and I was really excited for that. I knew it was going to go up after the injury, and I just need to man up and do it, but it stings, man. I want to be back.
Yeah.
I want to be 100%. I feel like physically, I'm capable of doing it. I don't have the same pain, but I don't have the strength, and it's not there yet, and it's frustrating to me. I love good golf. I don't care about winning the competition, but I do care about sucking. And I posted a 48 today. There were more double bogeys on my card than anything else. That was my most common score today, and I hate double bogeys. I hate them so much.
Two things. One, with the sim in the off season, I think you'll get the reps in to kind of build some of that muscle back. That'll be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
But two, I didn't know that it cut you that deep, because it was just kind of an off the cuff comment on the green. So I'm sorry.
That's okay. And like I said, I don't want to sound petulant, but you didn't know that bugged me as badly as it did, and that's why I thought I would tell you.
That's fair.
Because it cut, and I was like, oh gosh, I am not back.
If we need some encouragement, should we have a phrase like,
my
kung fu is weak today?
I mean, I think you could even just be like, hey, can we like lighten the mood a bit, fellas? Like, the kung fu is weak today.
My kung fu is weak today.
No, I think it should be the Jojo Rabbit thing. I think I need a hug. I love that movie.
It's such a good movie.
Oh, it's so good.
That's fair feedback. That was a good honesty moment.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, round recap. My round sucked.
Yeah, John Paul's round wasn't so great. Eric did pretty decent.
Fabulous round for Eric.
I posted a 45, which is what I was hoping to post. I aim for 45 or better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I had a lucky par save at the end on the 9th hole that saved my bacon.
Yeah, I had a 47.
Which is great.
It was good. I feel like the last 3 holes in particular, around the green let me down, and the putting. I faded.
But I have to say, you left some shots out there, particularly with the putter today. If you had the shots that you left out there versus the shots that I left out there, I still think you beat me today.
I had 50-50 with my driver. I had a couple of drives that really did well, and I had a couple that were terrible. I left shots on the course today.
You have got to tee your ball a titch higher. Every single one of
But
your drives
when he
today
does
was
that, he goes
super low.
under.
I know, but you were so low today.
I don't think that was the problem. I think that I'm trying a new setup, and I actually really like it because it goes a lot more straight, but I'm more closed coming down. And so it's shooting the ball
So it's a
down.
knuckleball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But if you're going to do a knuckleball, I mean, I'm not saying tee it up a lot higher. It's literally a millimeter or two.
Yeah.
Just you're hitting it on the bottom of the face, and
think-
you can tell.
I think it's a club setup issue.
Now we're going to turn the time over to Cody for another This or That, and I am fascinated to hear what question he has for us today.
I liked this segment the first time we talked about it because it led to the strange tacos.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, it was the taco one. Yeah.
But today I had a slightly different one, and I it's called This or That, but maybe it's this or that or that or that.
I don't know if I have the cognitive ability to deal with
Oh, no,
anything
no, no.
more than a binary question today.
Oh no, this is pretty easy. So we're talking pizza.
Okay.
Thin crust, regular crust, deep dish, Chicago style.
What's the difference between Chicago and deep dish?
Chicago style is a little bit breadier, maybe, than a deep dish.
Deep dish is like Detroit, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I've had a real deep dish, and I know I haven't had a real Chicago.
Oh,
So I would just be comparing thin versus
we can
regular.
go thin versus regular. That's totally
The
fine.
only other one that I've had are the ones from like Papa Murphy's that are like the super thick ones. What are those?
That would be a thick crust.
That's a stuffed crust.
No, the ones that's like three
Yeah,
layers.
that's like stuffed pizzas.
Yeah, stuffed pizza.
So tell me, I have no idea how common Papa Murphy's is. I don't know if that's like a West thing. I don't know.
It's just a take and bake pizza
Yeah, it's
place.
a take and bake pizza, but they've got a whole bunch of options. You pick it up cold and you bake it at home in your oven for fresh pizza.
Yeah.
But yeah, where are you guys at on this? You a thin crust guy? You a regular crust?
Wait, I want to guess John Paul's.
Oh, okay.
I like when we do that kind of thing. All right, so
You
John
should
Paul.
guess mine too then.
Okay. John Paul, I think you're a regular crust kind of guy.
That's an interesting take.
I know you don't love thin crust.
That look.
It's a hard question, man.
All right, Cody,
Yeah.
I think you'd be a fan of the Chicago or the deep dish just because it's not a regular thing and it's kind of a special occasion thing.
The thicker the crust, the better.
Oh, wow.
I am not a thin crust guy. I will eat it because it's pizza. I'm not a snob, but given the choice, it's always going to be like a regular. And I do like deep dish style, and I like Chicago style, the stuffed pizzas. When I make pizzas in my pizza oven at home, I go for a slightly thicker crust instead of super, super thin. I don't like it crunchy. I want it soft and pillowy.
Okay.
Okay, back to
You
John
ready
Paul.
for me?
Yeah.
Here you go. This is a crazy take. I like a thin crust, but not the way that you're thinking. I'm a New York style. pizza.
yes,
Oh, okay.
yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So
That is the thinner crust, but it
I
is
like
not
it. I like
thin.
it thin, but it's not crunchy.
Yes.
It's very chewy. It's a chewy, thin crust. And so if I have to choose, I'm going to say, like, I don't know, commonly available, probably not the best example of it, but like a slice of Sparrow's cheese pizza. That's the crust thickness that I'm thinking right there.
When I think of a New York pizza, I think of I'm folding it in half.
You got to fold it in half.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to collapse if you don't fold it. And that's for me, that's the crust. But I do have to say that the crust is less important to me. I think that a pizza is made or broken on the combination of cheeses that are put on it.
That's a tough take, man.
Oh my gosh. I've had super thin, like super hot fired oven pizzas, like a 5 cheese pizza. I love that. it can be done so well and can be done so badly depending on the mix of cheeses that are there. And so for me, the cheese flavor is more important than crust consistency.
I think a sauce matters more. For me, the importance of ingredients is crust, sauce, cheese, additional toppings.
See, and that's interesting. I would say that it goes for me. It's definitely cheese first. It would be crust second. It would be additional toppings third. And I don't give a garbage about sauce.
Really?
Oh, wow.
I don't care.
Wow.
That's probably because I don't love marinara sauce because I'm not a huge tomato guy. And so I like a richer, meatier kind of sauce. And so that makes a good sense for me. But honestly, my favorite pizzas are low sauce pizzas. And so because it's a low sauce, I really don't care what the sauce is because
So you don't like a margarita?
Just not a much. No, my wife is a huge margarita pizza person, and I'm out.
I'm guessing you're, Eric, a thin crust guy.
It depends on where it's from.
Okay. See, I pegged you as like a crispy, thin crust pizza kind of guy.
Like a mod pizza or something
Yeah.
like that.
I don't know. For me, the toppings and the sauce and the cheese matter more than the crust, to be honest.
Really? Okay.
Crust is like the lowest item. As long as it's cooked okay, I'm fine with whatever crust. I don't love a super chewy crust. Maybe I shouldn't mention any chains.
No, go ahead. What are they going to do?
Little Caesars. I feel like
yeah.
theirs is just super chewy, and like that is the weakest part of their pizza. So as long as you have a decent dough, I don't really care what the crust is. I don't like stuffed crust. I think that makes it chewy, but yeah, I like really good toppings. And
Okay, so aside from cheese, we're going to take cheese and sauce out of there. You talked about additional toppings.
Yes.
Power ranking your favorite additional topping on a pizza. You can pick one thing to throw on a cheese pizza. What are you putting on it?
One topping.
when you say
One topping.
additional,
And it's not cheese.
like on top of cheese.
Yes,
they're
it's
saying?
not cheese. So
Okay.
you get the cheese and you get the sauce for free. You're going to put one thing on there.
So I have a question for clarification, because one of my favorite toppings, in addition to like the mozzarella, is like a ricotta, but that's cheese.
That's a cheese. You can have that for free.
Okay.
I'm talking about a meat or something.
Can we swap out different sauces as well?
Sure.
Because like
Like a white
I know
sauce.
you like
Yeah.
a white sauce with a chicken, probably, I would imagine.
yeah, chicken or bacon.
Okay.
Okay. One topping of choice
I'd
on
probably
my
go chicken
pizza.
with one topping.
I'm going to go, if it's a white sauce, it's chicken. If it's a red sauce, sausage.
Sausage is a strong call on a red
Yeah.
sauce. I like that. I'm going to go Canadian bacon.
But no
But no pineapple.
pineapple.
No pineapple. Do I need to tell the pineapple
You need to
story?
tell the pineapple.
Absolutely.
So I love Canadian bacon on a pizza, and my sweet wife also loves Canadian bacon on a pizza. And we have a funny story. We went to a fantastic pizza joint down where she went to school, and it was a feast for two that we were eating, and it came with a free small pizza in addition to the pasta we were eating. So we were mostly focused on the pasta.
Were you dating at the time, or were you married?
No, we had been married, but we were newlywed. So we've maybe been married for, we might have been dating, but it occurs to me we might have been married but it was less than a year.
Okay.
And so we're sitting here, and our server comes up, and she's like, "Hey, what kind of pizza do you want?" We look at each other, and we're like, "Hey, we'll go Hawaiian," because I really like Canadian bacon. I was like, "It's fine." She loves Hawaiian pizza, and she can pull the pineapple off. And so this gets delivered to our table. So the server's doing her business and filling drinks and things, and she notices that I'm sitting there taking all the pineapple off of my half of the pizza. And my wife is also picking all the pineapple off of her half of the pizza. And she comes up to us. She's like, "If you both don't like pineapple, why did you order Hawaiian?" And I look at her. I'm like, "I thought you liked pineapple." She's like, "I hate pineapple on pizza. I thought you liked it." I was like, pineapple on pizza is the worst idea ever. And we're just sitting there laughing like, "Well, that's fantastic. We know each other incredibly well for two people who are married." You know.
That feels like one of the questions that would have been on the Newlywed Game. You would have gotten wrong.
Yeah. Pineapple does not belong. I love pineapple. She loves pineapple. Pineapple on pizza is a terrible idea.
But
Nobody should ever.
It's one of
do
my
it.
favorite stories of you too.
Ham on a red sauce pizza. That's a good choice. That's
Ham
good.
on a red sauce,
That's
and
good.
interestingly, on a white sauce pizza, I'm gonna go crumbled bacon.
Ooh, that's good play.
Crumbled
That's a
bacon
strong
on
play.
on a white sauce is money.
Okay. Yeah.
For me, for a red sauce, I would do it's the Supreme, but when it's just vegetables.
Okay. It's like
Bell
bell peppers
peppers and
or
stuff?
onions and olives.
Yeah.
Well, you have to pick one.
You're getting olives. 9 million olives.
Bell peppers.
There was a place when I was up in Toronto, they would give us a large one-topping pizza, and we would always get sausage because their sausage was just so good. And that's probably where I got my, if I can only pick one topping, it's going to be that. Their pepperoni is pretty lackluster. I think most people pick a pepperoni if it's like their sole topping. I think sausage is a stronger play.
The bacon call comes from a pizzeria that we have here in Utah that's quite famous, and it's strictly a Utah thing. I think they have 2 locations, but back when I was a young guy working as a mechanic, we would have staff meetings where all the mechanics would get together, and we would order pizza from this joint, and we would order the bacon pizza.
Was it the pie?
No, it was Slitza's.
Oh,
But I wasn't gonna dox them in the thing. But we would order this bacon pizza, and it to a young 20-year-old man, this is the greatest slice of pizza in history. It's just loaded with this crumbled bacon and this beautiful melty cheese. It's absolutely magnificent. I went back a couple of years ago and ordered it nostalgically. I felt my heart seizing with each bite that I took. I am not the man I once was. The amount of oil and fat that came off of that pizza was astonishing. And so I think that is one of the most delicious slices of pizza, but I do think that you have to be in a certain phase in your life consuming a certain number of calories in order for that pizza to even be edible.
We are not young men anymore. We were on the course today, and there was a group of 3 teenagers. They were probably high schoolers that were behind us. And I watched all of them tee off. They had to have hit 290, each of them, off the tee.
Comparison is the thief of joy, Cody.
They are high schoolers, man.
I know. And
They get to
if
play a
you
lot more than
learned
we
how
do.
to play golf when you were in high school, if I had learned when I was a junior in high school, I'd have one of those beautiful buttery swings. We took up the game too old to have the beautiful buttery swing. So we just have to do the best with what we have.
Well, joke's on them. We get to have more fun.
So I'll tell you what I wouldn't want on my pizza ever again. A cracked egg.
You don't love that?
No.
That sounds like a very French thing.
Yeah, I was in France and we ordered pizza from Pizza Hut. We were so
Pizza Hut?
Yeah, they have Pizza Hut in France.
But they put an egg on the pizza?
Yeah,
at
so
Pizza Hut?
I ordered the pizza and we got like a Supreme meat lover or whatever. And they came and they opened the door, or we opened the door and they're like, "Is this your pizza?" Show it to me. I was like, "Yep, that's it." And then they cracked an egg and put it right in the center. And I was like, and they're like, "Oh, you're American. You didn't want that, huh?" I was like, why would I want a runny egg yolk on my pizza?
I lived for a brief period of time in the Philippines, and I guarantee what they have for pizza is worse than cracking a raw egg on Pizza Hut pizza.
I don't know. There's nothing like holding your pizza up and having it just drip with raw egg.
Would you like me
yolk.
to describe it for you? Do you want to hear the fabulous thing that they called pizza in the Philippines?
Do we have time?
It's essentially
a strange pizza.
It's essentially a cracker.
Why is it always him? The strange tacos, the strange pizza.
No, you'll love this. So it's essentially a cracker. It's an incredibly crispy crust that's been overcooked. On top of that, they put banana ketchup. So you have to have had Filipino food to know what banana ketchup is. But it's a mix between tomato ketchup and like strawberry jelly. That's the best thing that I can.
It's got a little sweetness
It's
to it,
very
but
sweet
it
and
is
it's
like
very
it is a
gelatinous.
ketchup-y flavor.
Yeah, it's like a zesty Jello almost. It'd be the best way to describe it. And then on top of that, oh my friend Eric, they cut up pieces of hot dog, throw it all over the top of it, and then put on a few shreds of shelf-stable, unmeltable cheese, which doesn't melt because it's unmeltable and shelf-stable. And that's what they call pizza over there, and it's pretty horrible.
Well, it does sound bad. But if you're ordering Pizza Hut and they showed up with that, you'd be pretty disappointed.
It's true. Raw egg on the pizza. All right, listeners, we would like to hear from you. What is your one topping? What is the essential topping for your pizza?
It's time for Talk Nerdy to Me.
Ooh, can I try?
Yeah.
Talk nerdy to me. I can't do it.
It's not as good.
It's really not. That's
No.
really hard. How do you do that? Talk nerdy to me.
Talk nerdy to me.
Talk nerdy. I
so
can't
good.
do
I
it.
don't know.
So
I just
good.
do it. All right. So for today's Talk Nerdy to Me, it's a video game question, and it's which villain are you able to empathize with the most in a video game?
Oh,
Because
a
video games
thinker.
Video games are hard because they tend to make them a lot more black and white. Like the villain is just bad.
Can we exclude on this video games that have been made after franchises that have deeper lore?
Yeah. Like this has to be its
The video
own
game
video
is its
game franchise.
primary form of consumption.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Or if like a movie came later after the video game, that would be fine too. Do you want me to? I've thought about this.
If you've thought about it, yeah, go ahead because that'll let my brain kind of run in the background.
So I have two. The first one is the Covenant in Halo, specifically the Arbiters, and like their whole, because they were all led astray by the prophets, and so they were just doing what they thought was the right thing, and then once they finally find out, they feel pretty betrayed, and you kind of understand where they're coming from. Cody's over here licking his microphone and making
I'm not
faces.
licking it. I got too close to it. I have one of those like fuzzy covers over it, and I ended up with a bunch of like faux hairs on my lips, and I was trying to get them off while Eric's talking, and he's trying not to crack up.
Yeah.
I think I'm ready if you want some time to think about it.
The other one was Sephiroth, and this might be a hot take.
You are sympathizing with the one-winged angel?
Well,
I actually thought about that one. I am with Sephiroth up to a certain point because he
he
learned,
crosses the line.
Yes, that is where he goes nuts. But where he was trying to, with his relationship with Genova and trying to understand where he came from.
Well, and even finding out afterwards where he came from, who his mother was, and then getting angry and wanting to destroy Genova with him all the way up through that. It's when he starts attacking innocent towns and trying to destroy the entire world, that's when he goes too far.
For me, the issue with him is that his sword is just way too long. It's
Yeah.
just too long. I'm sorry. I can't empathize with anybody who walks around with a sword that long.
And Cloud's is better because
It's shorter, but weighs 5 times as much.
Have you ever seen someone make their swords and try to wield them?
I actually watched a YouTube video of somebody who made Cloud's sword out of actual Damascus steel. They needed a crane.
Yeah,
it is
it's
unliftable
so
by a
heavy.
human being. A human cannot lift it.
Yeah. Someone made Sephiroth's blade and it just kept folding. Like they couldn't find it's
Nothing
too
has the
long.
tensile strength.
Yeah. It just bends.
All right, you said you were ready, John Paul. What's yours?
I am ready. This is going to be also another hot take, but I have to tell you a specific video game. I'm going to go ahead and empathize with Bowser.
Bowser?
Bowser has simple wants, and I really hated Bowser until I played the first Paper Mario game where you actually get to play as Bowser, and he just gets ticked off that somebody else is trying to get his girl. Like he sees Peach.
It's not his girl though.
Well, we think that. We think that Peach and Mario are
No.
the thing.
He
Right?
should have asked. That's the whole thing in Mario Odyssey. She's like, I don't
know,
want
I
either.
know,
of
and
them.
it's,
Hey, John
it's
Paul,
very different from game
we live
to game.
in the age of consent, okay?
I know this. I know this, but it's just but that's exactly it, right? Of course he's evil. Of course he's a bad guy. Of course he needs particular skills. But the truth is that it all stems from this loneliness. He just wants to be loved, and
He has a whole bunch of underlings that love and adore him. If he gave them the time of day, he would have a whole host of friends.
how many of us fall into the same thing that we're incredibly fortunate in some areas, and then we just whine and whinge about the one thing that we can't have? That's what Bowser is. He
right.
wants Peach. He wants her so desperately. He wants her so badly. And now, is that going to stop me from throwing him to a giant pool of lava? No. I will still battle him and his minions in any way that I can. But that particular video game, when I got to play as Bowser for the first time, he had killed me so many times up to that point. To be able to storm a level as him and just smash every block out of my way and breathe fire at my enemies, and it was very empowering.
yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Maybe Bowser's okay.
I will have to say that I loved our. We did a video game session where we worked together and did a quick run of the original Mario,
Super Mario
Super
1.
Mario Wonder. It was amazing. It was
Love it.
core memory.
I will say on the Bowser thing, it is kind of funny because it's kind of shown in Super Mario Brothers 3 and in several of the other games that they're all kind of like actors on a stage, right?
Oh.
And like Super Mario 2 is a dream,
Hmm.
and all the sports games and Mario Party, like they're really all friends, and the Mario games is just production.
Oh,
Have you ever
interesting.
heard that
Kind
theory?
of like the Muppets.
No, I haven't. That's pretty fun. I like that.
Okay, I've got mine. I had to look it up because I couldn't remember his name, but one of my favorite games of all time is Chrono Trigger.
Oh,
It's a Super Nintendo era game, and it holds up today. You can pick it up and still play it.
you can get it on your phone.
Yeah, you can get it on, I think, the Play Store, probably even the
Apple Store.
App Store, Steam,
It's
anywhere.
like $5. Pick it
Yeah.
up.
Anyway, it's a RPG kind of 2D, sprite filled, but the storyline, maybe I like it so much because the first time I played it, it deals a lot with time travel. Hence
Chrono.
But there is a bad guy in there, Magus.
Mm-hmm.
And as you travel back to one of the eras, and you have to like go and defeat this guy in his castle, and you're like chasing him around because he gets away, and you kill his underlings, and then you go and find him in the other place. Well, spoiler alert, if you choose the correct path in the RPG, is it spoilers if I said the game came out like 20 years ago?
You're
we
good.
But-
I
spoiled
think
a lot of things.
I think
here.
you're past the expiration date. on it.
Basically, he is a lost prince from like 12,000 BC. And he is on a never-ending mission to kill the threat to the world that's known as Lavos. And he's trying to find his sister. And he does that by trying to get as powerful as he can and ends up with these like monster underlings. So he gets viewed in a very negative light as like this bad guy. But his intentions are to basically save the world, even if everyone hates him for it.
Yep. He lets him. He's Batman.
I actually love characters that are like that.
Have you
Weirdly,
played that game?
not a video game, but I just finished rewatching season 1 of Picard, and that's a really interesting one because you got Romulans in play, you got Borg in play, you got Jean-Luc in play, you got Starfleet in play. All of them make good choices. All of them make bad choices. All of them are good guys. All of them are bad guys. They just have different motivations. Even the Romulans.
Yeah.
The Romulans are dirty, underhanded liars. Okay, their cause is completely just.
Yep.
They're on what they truly believe is the right errand, and it turns out to be correct. Like if what they thought was going to happen actually happened, it is a cataclysmic event, and they were working to stop a cataclysmic event at all cost. And so it was an interesting series. Is like, who's the bad guy here? Because everybody's kind of the bad guy. Everybody's also kind of the good guy.
Yeah.
But they just can't come to any common ground.
If you haven't played Chrono Trigger, you should pick it up. It
Yeah.
is so much fun.
have never played it.
It's on you should get it for your phone. I downloaded it and I played it and I absolutely love it. I hadn't played until I was in my 30s. It was the first. I got Chrono Cross before I played Chrono Trigger, and that was a mistake.
It's like a spiritual successor. It's not quite.
Well, and it relies pretty heavily on Chrono Trigger, and I was just lost. I was like, I have no idea. And not to mention, it had like 300 characters you could get.
Yeah. Chrono Trigger is on just about every top 5 Super Nintendo video game list I've seen, and it's regularly at the top of like all game lists.
It's one of the best stories ever.
Yeah.
I'll have to pick it up.
It's so good.
As the fall weather rolls in and the night comes sooner in the evening,
Night comes for us all.
it does.
Darkness is
Well-
coming.
Well, we started our tea time 20 minutes earlier than normal today, and we ran out of light.
Yeah, it was pretty dark.
So, John Paul, we'll kick it over to you because we wanted to talk a little bit about revisiting our goals from the beginning of the season.
Yes, and if anybody's interested, you can go back and listen to our second episode of the podcast. It's called The Training Job. I went back and listened to it, as did you guys earlier, and we pulled all of the goals that we set to begin the year. And I just thought it'd be useful to go back now that we're basically at the end of the season, just before our end of the year extravaganza trip to celebrate the end of our season. I wanted to go back to these goals, and I wanted to say, hey, which of these goals did we make? Now, it gets a little more complicated because as I was listening to the goals, not all of them are binary. It isn't all, oh, I did this, or oh, I didn't do this. And so I think we'll go around and talk about each goal one at a time in a round-robin format. But I think rather than saying, oh, I made that goal or I didn't make that goal, I think you should give yourself a letter grade on that goal, and then the other two can weigh in if we agree or disagree with your
So we're
grade.
not pass-fail. We're going letter grade.
We're going letter grade. Now,
Okay.
I work in education, and I am going to tell you that the letter grade thing hasn't been used in schools in years, but it's familiar to everybody, so we'll go ahead and stick with
So
it.
tell me, because, C, I always imagined is like average.
It's fine.
But C is pretty bad, right? If
It's
you got a
failing.
C in school, kids are like, oh no, I got a C. So help me understand, where is our...
No, let's go. A is you did very, very well. You can even give yourself an A+ if you feel. I feel like C is I didn't fail. I didn't really succeed hugely. It's just nice middle of the road.
Okay.
F stands for F.
Okay.
Totally fair.
Okay. So, Cody, you had the most goals.
I did.
And so let's start with yours. The first goal that you said that you wanted to achieve was a sub 21 handicap. Talk to us about it.
So I think that, as we've learned, and you guys have heard me complain on every episode, the GIN app hates me.
It hates everyone but John Paul.
And I think that I don't know if I thought I would shoot better, because I'm pretty happy with my scores. I thought maybe my handicap would reflect that differently. So I do not have a sub 21 handicap.
What is your handicap right now?
So with today's posting, 23.8.
Okay. Is that the lowest you've been this year?
Yes.
Okay. And you started at what?
27.4.
Well, that's good. It's not sub 21.
So that's why I'm going to give myself a B minus.
Okay.
Would any arguments on that?
no, I think
Because
it's
I
B minus is fair.
didn't achieve it, but that's great
You
progress.
did great progress. That's good. I mean, that's nearly to where you need it to be. All right. Eric, your first goal was improved chipping. And specifically, you said that in a chipping situation, you wanted to get on the green in 2 or fewer chips. How do you feel you've done?
All right, before I say that, I just want to say, in case anyone's interested, episode 2, the training job, is also the name of the second episode of Firefly. So that was a little Easter egg for everybody.
Oh, I love that show.
Yeah. It just
I got to
kinda-
go rewatch it. It's been too long since I rewatched it.
I thought it was a great name because we were all talking about training and everything. It just worked great.
Yeah.
All right, so it was getting
Isn't
on the...
that where they like steal on the train?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good
Like
episode.
literally training job.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So getting on the green within 2 chips, I would say I would give myself A minus. I feel like I've pretty well achieved that.
That's fair.
I'd agree with that. I was leaning towards an A almost for you, but there have been a couple of chips that still get away from you. And
I mean, I still get on within 2, but usually within 1 at this point. But yeah.
you're not ping ponging back and
No,
forth like you used
and
to.
I will
And
say,
I haven't thinned one and launched it over the green in a long time.
and I feel like you don't always hold the green, and so you sometimes have to hit a second chip. I think that all of us can improve our chipping technique. Your chipping technique has gotten way better, but dude, I'm gonna say it again:
New
get
club.
better equipment.
I know, we're doing it. We're doing it.
You are. You need grooves. If you had grooves, I'd give you an A.
Threw off Eric's groove.
We threw off Eric grooves.
All right, John Paul, I got yours.
Go ahead.
The first goal that I heard you say when I was listening was you desperately wanted a sub 18 handicap.
Mm-hmm.
Talk us through it.
I'm gonna give myself an A minus because I did get to
You
a sub
did.
18 handicap.
How low did it get?
17.8. So
Okay.
I got to a 17.8. That's the lowest handicap I got. It's also the lowest handicap I've ever had.
What are you at currently?
18.5.
So it went back up.
And it's going to go up more.
You think so?
Yeah. I have one more grace round, and then I'm losing a 43 with a very high differential because it was at a different course. And then the next score that drops off is my 81, which is the greatest round of golf I've ever played. That's going to jack it up. That losing that round by itself, unless I replace it with something truly magnificent, is is extremely unlikely, and it's going to hurt badly when that drops off.
I agree with the A- though.
Yeah, I agree.
Well done, by the way. I think that's a great accomplishment.
And I will say that one of the issues is that 81 was such a fluke round. We talk about it sometimes that the stars aligned.
It came together.
Everything
That's
works.
what you want.
Everything comes together. Everything came together that day. It was a great day of golf. Best round I've ever played. My hope about being able to do that anytime in the near future is low. It's going to be a long time before I have even the capacity for everything to come together that well.
Can we piggyback really quick on another one of your goals? Because related,
Sure.
you wanted, and you said this was a lifetime goal, a sub 80 round.
I know.
You got an 81.
It's
You
as
were
close as I've ever been. 2 strokes.
off.
And I left 2 strokes out there.
Do you think you did?
Oh, yeah.
That was my follow-up question is like, do you think that round, like, did you have a bad putt that you could have gotten or?
To be fair, I got a lot of things I probably didn't deserve that round. Like I had a lot of putts. I made a lot
like your
of
par
putts.
save today
my par
on
save today,
6?
which I totally didn't
That was
deserve.
incredible.
So I got a lot of luck. I didn't really have any bad breaks that day, but I had a few shots that I could have done better.
Okay.
Some bad decision making, but
So the sub 80, what do you give yourself?
that's a lifetime goal. So I don't even think I grade myself on it because it's bucket list goal. At some point
Yeah.
in my life, I would like to do it.
Yeah, but right now,
I
what do you
think-
give yourself?
I think what I would do is I would say I'm going to give myself a letter grade on my optimism that it will ever happen. And I'll give myself a C. I
Okay.
give myself a 50-50 shot that in the remaining years of my life, I will break 80.
I think you can do it, man.
I think you can.
I legit do.
If we keep up
I've
like we are.
seen you golf one of your really solid rounds before. I was with you. It's going to happen.
It's just
I
been
think
so
this-
long since I felt it.
I
That's
think
what I
this
mean.
year, going through the sim, you'll get your feel back, and next year you'll be a weapon.
Yeah. Okay. Cody,
Yes.
your next goal. Your next goal, Cody, was to break 90 3 times. Now, here's a clarifying question before you do it, because we were talking in an 18-hole round. We play almost exclusively 9-hole rounds.
Correct.
So does that mean breaking 45 6 times or breaking 45 3 times?
I don't know. So here's how I kind of looked at it is that I assumed that kind of like our handicaps where we put in a 9-hole score and it, roughly doubles it to see what an 18-hole scoring round. I know it's not quite that simple, but for our simple math, it's kind of how I would look at it.
Okay. So we'd say 3 times you're 3 times you're breaking 45.
And if that's the criteria, then I've got to give myself an A. I have 2 43s and a 44 in the last 6 months.
Do you have 6?
I don't have 6.
Okay.
Let me double check really quick. But I know I have 2 43s and I can't remember if it's 1 or 2 44s, but I don't have 6 of them. So if you want to argue a little bit lower, that's fine.
The only reason why I'd argue a little bit lower is because we talked about this initially when we set the goal. Breaking 90 on 18 holes is so much harder than breaking 45 on 9 holes.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so much harder because it's
It's
stringing
tiring.
together 2 subsequent rounds. And so I think if I was going to, we'd have to go back and look at your scores. I would argue with an A, absolutely, if you had 6, or even if you had 3, or 4 of them that were subsequent. Does that make sense? Like back to back. Because it's getting the back to back rounds. That's in my mind what an 18-hole round and how that's different from a 9-hole
So
round.
on August 20th and then August 21st, I shot back-to-back 43s.
So I'd give you that one for sure.
The 44 was followed by a 48. So that was not it.
That's the hard part.
So, okay, I mean...
I'll give you a B.
I'll give the B. That's
Yeah.
fine. Well, that's why I was asking what the criteria, because if it's the one, it's higher. If it's the other,
Yep.
it's lower.
That's why I thought we needed to talk about it both ways because it's kind of critical. Okay, Eric, your next one. Beat each of us straight up, no strokes given.
A.
Absolutely. Did it today.
I beat both of you.
Not today.
I beat John Paul today.
You did beat John
Yeah.
Paul. So, just for the sake of argument, in the rounds that you beat us, do you feel satisfied with the scores in which you beat us with?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I was sub 50. I was playing a good round when
Okay. Well, that's what I was
you may
gonna
not
ask,
have,
like-
but I was playing pretty well.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you shot a 49 and John Paul and I shot 52, that can't be super satisfying.
No, both times I was in like 47, 46.
And I think
Great.
that's fair. I think if you beat us you're shooting anything under 50 and you're beating us, that's fine. Because if I look back at my scores post surgery, I've scored more rounds in the 50s than I have in the 40s.
Well, and I beat,
So that's where I am right now. And if you can beat me, then you can beat me. And that's
technically
where
I also
I'm at.
beat you pre-surgery, but
You
you
did.
were also very broken at the time.
That
wouldn't, and that's why I was happy about today, because today is a much better test of golf, because certainly I don't have my best stuff, but nobody ever has all their best stuff, right? And so when you've got your good stuff is better than my okay stuff, and that's the goal. So I give you an A+.
Oh, thank you. All right, John Paul, for you, we have this one's kind of hard to quantify. Get your driver head club speed up to 90 plus miles per hour. I don't know how other than the sim, how are we?
we would have to go to the sim, and I'm curious because I'm curious. Actually, you self-rate yourself first because I think I have a thought.
Here's where this gets tricky, because I don't know. I'll give myself a B-, and here's why. I am not 100% consistent with my driver right now, but I'm not 100% consistent with anything right now. But when I'm catching the driver anywhere near the middle of the face, it's competitive. I'm getting it out there. Now, here's where that gets tricky.
That's not the goal.
I also put a very nice new club in my hand, and it makes a huge difference. It is way more forgiving than my old club. It's got a much hotter face. It's got a much higher loft. It gets way higher in the air. And so I know I've gotten a lot more distance. I don't honestly know how much of that distance to equate to increased swing speed and how much of it to equate to improved equipment. That having been said, I know I've gotten a little bit of speed. I know I have. But I don't know if it's 90.
I was going to give you a B, and I think there's an argument for a B+, and I was going to say that exact same thing.
But that doesn't have anything to do with speed.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't think that you're swinging 90 plus as your cruising driver speed.
I don't think so either.
If you go all out, I think you can. But as like your normal driver swing, I don't think I think you're mid to low 80s.
And I thought about this actually when I was driving to the course today, because I knew we were going to have this conversation. Here's the deal. I do need a sim to tell me what my cruising driver speed is right now. But when I talk about a cruising driver swing, I don't have a cruising driver swing right now. There were times in my past where I had a fairway finder and I had a full send. And I know the difference between those two swings. When I tell you that I've lost a little bit of the feel of my control on the tee box, I legit am not deciding which one of those I'm hitting. I'm hitting one
mid-swing.
or I'm hitting another one, but it's not strategic. Sometimes I let it fly, and sometimes I know I'm backing off of it. I can tell which ones I back off of because I duck hook them left because I'm coming up out of the swing. But I'm not doing that because I'm trying to find a fairway or because I'm scared or I'm trying to lay off. It's legit. My body either syncs it up or it doesn't. And that's super frustrating for me. But again, I need time in the sim.
Yeah.
The spirit of the goal, I think, was to get more distance.
Yeah.
And so that's where I went with the B+.
Okay.
But if we're strictly saying that your
90
cruising speed is 90
cruising
plus,
speed.
that's where I
don't
dropped you
think
down
that's
a
the
little
case.
bit.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. So in my eyes, let's talk about that just to clarify cruising speed. Cruising speed to me means you've warmed up, you've swung really, a good, your muscles are nice and warm, and you're not swinging out of your shoes.
Yep.
It's just a normal solid swing, not light, not over. That's what I imagine when we say cruising speed.
And if you strategically look at me when I play golf in my head, cruising speed for me is when I'm playing a scoring round. I will never go full send on a scoring round. I don't. I only ever full send when we're playing a scramble.
That makes sense.
Because that's programmed into me from the days when I had that ridiculous banana slice. And I know I can lose a ball right when I go full send. If I sync it up on full send, I'm way over 90. But my cruising, I honestly need to get into a sim. If I had to guess, because prior to surgery, my cruising speed was about 85. When I went and got fitted for my driver, do you remember my driver fitting? I was well warm and swinging good that day. I was hurting. I mean, I was in a huge amount of pain. I was averaging 87. So it's not like I'm trying to gain like 10 miles an hour. It's like 3 miles an hour over when I got fit. I don't know if I'm there yet, though. But I think B plus is very generous. I think B would be generous. I give myself a B minus.
I think that those are both admirable gradings as well. But in the sim, I want to kind of approach it a little bit differently because normally we just kind of gather and faff around for a little bit and play a virtual round of golf.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to have some specific goals.
Oh, we talked about this last week.
And I think that swing speed is one of them.
Yeah.
To where there are specific swing training exercises that we can do to increase the speed. And someone spends 10 minutes doing that. And the other two of
Do you
us
want to tell them our...
Yes. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
We talked about this last week in the round without you. We would like to change the way we faff around in the sim. I think you're right. I think we do targeted practice to warm up. I think we go after speed because that's a goal for all of us, is to try and get some more control around our speed and also get more comfortable in the sim, working on face contact and things of that nature. That's why we're in there. However, where we lose time in the sim is transitions.
Yes.
Because you get up, you hit a shot, then the next guy gets up, eats a licorice stick. Oh, it's your turn. We get talking about a video game on the side. Then it's like 5 minutes before somebody else hits a shot. What we want to do is have one guy caddy, one guy run the machine, and one guy golf 9 holes. So you are up there in the box playing an entire 9-hole round, and then we rotate. Because then you get into a groove. You are working on it. You've got the guy who's just getting you your club. It's going to take down transition. I just want to try it once and see how that goes because I think it would be hilarious. I think it would be fantastic to be the guy in the box to play it. I would love to be the caddy of the guy in the box. And then sometimes you just sit down. Hey, I'm going to get your line. And that's when you eat your licorice whips and drink way too much root beer.
Ugh, licorice.
I feel a little bit gypped. Speaking of caddies, I didn't get a caddy round this year.
I
have the talisman.
No, I
John
have
Paul
it,
has
and I want to tell you that I seriously considered giving it to you for today.
No, not on the last.
That's why I didn't do it. I couldn't do it to you because I know you want to win so bad. And I was like, dude, it would be the greatest piece of gamesmanship in the world. But it would break his heart if I took away his last chance.
Nice.
But I almost did it, and that's why I didn't do it, because I knew you wanted this round so badly. But I wanted this. I wanted to use the caddy round today, but I couldn't do it to you. I just couldn't do it to you. It would have been a heck of a play, though, wouldn't it?
That
would have been a Moriarty level play.
All right,
Get on the back,
Sorry,
Cody.
back on track.
Okay, Cody, we still got some goals for you.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Shoot sub 85 one time.
Yeah.
The closest I got were those back-to-back 43s, which would be an 86.
All right, let's keep them going. How would you give yourself?
B minus.
B minus. All right.
Yep.
Fairways hit 50%.
I looked. It's at 45.
Oh,
Okay.
So
that's pretty close.
it's up there. It's an improvement.
Yep.
So I'm going to give that one a B.
I'm going to give you an F.
Wow. Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to mess with you. And
So
see
for
what your face
green
did.
and reg, I'll give myself a C minus.
Yeah, you got to work on your greens.
It's gotten worse.
I'm
It
sorry.
has.
All right. JP, your last one. Oh, we already went over that. The club head speed.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Did you have any more
I have
for you?
one. I have one more goal for me.
Oh, okay.
And we
what
did
was it?
talk about it briefly earlier, but I am going to talk about it because I think it dives into a lot of what we talked about on the podcast with mental game.
Oh,
You talked to me about bringing my grumpy pants in the car when I was going. I failed at it a little bit today. I would have given myself a really good score other than today, because the moment you said that on the podcast, I've been actively thinking about it each time I go to the course.
Oh, good.
And I hope you've noticed a difference in doing that. It doesn't mean that I haven't gotten grumpy on the course, but when I've gotten grumpy on the course, it's the golf that's making me grumpy.
So can we just clarify, when you hit a bad shot and then you hit your tee in my general direction, it landed next to my foot, I went down and picked it up and you said, hey, that's my tee. I'm going to say that if you hit a tee in anger away, you have forfeit all ownership of said tee.
Bringing this back up.
But you're like, no, that's my tee. Was that just your way of just blowing off steam? I just need to get it out. I need to hit the tee, and then I'm good. Like,
Okay.
help me understand where you're at.
First of all,
on this.
you need to understand that I don't hit the tee in anger. I am angry, but I'm not hitting the tee in anger. When I take a practice swing at the ball, okay, I'm working on contact, as everybody
Yes.
is, right? Okay, the shot that I hit just prior to that, I nearly missed the golf ball. It hit the very toe of my 7-wood and just squirted out right. Miraculously hit a fence and didn't go OB. It still resulted in a double bogey. It was awful. When I swipe down at the tee, I'm trying to make a swing adjustment to make sure that the club is bottoming out at the bottom of the swing, which it did not do. Now, in this situation, I always hit the tee when I'm doing that because the tee is what I'm aiming for when I hit the ball.
Yeah.
So you'll see me do that quite frequently when I hit a bad shot off the tee box is I'll hit the tee. That's me resetting and hitting the tee. So in this situation, I was a little bit ticked off with it, and I hit the tee, and it did happen to fly in your direction. And then you picked it up and started walking away. You know tees were a trigger, man.
Well, it seemed like you were hitting it in anger.
I wasn't taking it away just like, ooh, this will teach John Paul. I legit thought you're like, you were mad at the tee and hit it just to get angry at it. And I was
No.
like, ooh, free tee. And then as soon as you came over, you're like, hey, that's my tee. I was just like, oh, I
And what really frustrated me too is that did you see the direction that the tee went?
towards me on the right.
Exactly the same thing that I just did. So it didn't. My adjustment didn't correct the swing. I repeated exactly the wrong swing again.
In the half second, like where I saw the tee and bent down to pick it up, my brain just told myself, he just hit that at me.
No, it was really
No,
funny.
No, it wasn't out of
like,
malice.
It wasn't like you throwing a rock at me for no reason today.
Yeah, you were throwing a rock at me and hit Eric on the way.
I did not throw a rock. I gently tossed it towards John Paul's foot, and Eric got in the way.
Yeah, I just happened to be in between you two. I didn't leap in the way to save John Paul.
Eric, Cody's throwing rock. I love it that earlier he's like, I thought I was being very nurturing. You're trying to throw rocks at people.
I wasn't trying to hit your foot. So to be fair, I tossed it with my right hand, and I'm a lefty. And so I just am terrible with that. So I'm sorry, I hit your hand.
It's all right.
Cody, rocks belong on the ground.
It's true. I get an F for that.
Unintended your rock throwing is no good. Anyway, going back to the Grumpy Pads, I'm going to give myself a B because I
That's
felt
fair.
like I've done a better job doing it. Now, I feel like certain elements of my mental game have improved this year, including what I bring onto the course. I'm not 100% pleased with my ability to reset after a hole because I know the theory of being able to reset after a hole. I could teach a course or a seminar on how to reset after a hole. I struggle somehow to implement my own advice.
It's really hard
It's
to do.
very hard to do in practice, and so I'm not giving myself a high score. But on that note, if we were to talk about this all the way around, I'm going to give Eric an A for his ability to control his mental state on the golf course because it is vastly improved over last year. He has done a much better job being on it. And I'm also going to give an A, even though he's not at the table, to Parker, because his golf, he used to be a much better golfer than he is now. He has shot some of the highest scores I've seen in a long time. He is smiling. He is happy. Every time we walk off the course, he says, yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me. And if I hit some of the shots that guy hit and got some of the breaks that guy hit,
brutal.
I wouldn't be as happy as he is.
Oh, yeah. He hit so many trees
He gets an
today.
A+ for mental game.
It's a good mentality to have.
Yeah.
You didn't give me a rating on that, my grumpy pants. I think I'm with you. I think I'm in the B range.
Yeah, I'd say B range.
Yeah, that's fair.
You've tomahawked a few clubs this year.
Yeah.
Earlier in the season, not lately.
Three rounds ago.
That's what brings it down to a B, maybe B minus.
Okay. The last goal that we need to talk about is a goal for Cody that I gave you.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to give you a C because I think you need improvement and I think it's something you still need to find. And I know your mentality behind this, but you got to work on it. You need a fairway finder for when your driver's not behaving.
So you know how you said that you never go full send with your driver?
Mm-hmm.
I never go full send unless we're in a scramble.
Mm-hmm.
So my struggles with the driver, I'm gonna argue that I feel a C is a little harsh. And let me tell you why.
Okay.
Because you're absolutely right. I need a consistent fairway finder, and I don't quite have one yet. However, aside from the one shot that I lost a little bit right today, when's the last time you've seen a true Donkey Kong banana slice?
That's not your miss anymore.
I'm just saying that's a really bad miss to try and take care of.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is, I wouldn't say that it's completely gone. It might show up every now and then because I lost one a little bit right that you would call a slice today.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I'm losing maybe a little bit left, but it is much of a straighter trajectory.
It's true.
But this is what I'm going to tell you, and this is why I'm giving you a C, and you can argue, and that's fine, right? The reason why I'm going to give you a C is because you have given yourself 2 excuses. And here's your 2 excuses. Number 1, you've hit your driver better this year than you've hit it. You did get rid of your banana slice, which is great. We had to yell at you to get you to trust your path and stop aiming so far left. We're still yelling at you to stop aiming so far left when you get tired because you haven't gotten rid of the slice, but you play for it sometimes. And there are days when you still have a big chunk of that banana slice and you're just aiming way left to compensate for it, and it loses you so much distance. But the other cop-out is that earlier this year when you were talking about it, you're like, I just can't lay off of a driver. I can't do it because I can't hit the ball. And I agree. I don't think you can. That's why you need to be able to pull the 3-wood.
That was like June, man. It's October.
I know. I'm just saying.
Okay.
That's why I'm giving you a C on that because you still don't. When your driver does betray you, you go to dark places and you have no place to go.
That's fair. I am curious how to address it. We don't find a lot of driving range time to just go and hit a driver for a couple hours.
And this is exactly why I bring it up because we have it in the sim. And I actually have a suggestion for you on what you need to do for it because I don't think it has anything to do with tempo. I think it has to do with sawing off. I think it's a sawed off. I don't think it's a slow. I think it's a sawed off.
Can you explain that? Because I'm feeling
Yes,
dumb.
I can. Okay. So your power in your swing comes from multiple things. So when you think about the entire golf swing, you've got power that's coming from weight transfer through your feet. You've got your arm swinging down. You have your body rotation and your hip rotation, which is where most of the power is coming from. And you hinge your wrists. Okay, you're a wrist hinger. So when you're taking your club back, the club at the top of your backswing is at a parallel to the ground.
Yep.
You're way the heck back there. When you are coming down, you flick your wrists right at the bottom. When the timing is perfect and you sync it up, you melt the ball. It's fantastic.
It's akin to a baseball swing.
And then you go. Now, when you're tired or you're losing it, what happens is your weight falls back on your left foot and you lose traction on the ground and you fall backwards. It causes you to come through, and then you bail out of your backswing, and you come and you finish way left when you're finishing, and that's what brings your outside in path in and causes the slice.
And so the last 3 rounds to combat that, I've kind of tried to lower my wrists a bit to have more shallow.
But what I'm thinking is, and again, I'll reference him. Matt Sharf, when he broke his back, had to basically rebuild his swing.
Yeah.
Go watch it. He still generates plenty of power. He hits it plenty far. His wrists do nothing. The club, when he's got it all the way back up here, is pointing straight up into the air. When he does his follow through and he's done, the club is pointing straight up into the air. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. He has taken his wrists completely out of the equation. He's still turning his body. He's still doing the speed. And I think if you can take some of the wrist action out and just saw one off, that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying saw it off. You're not going all the way back. You're going to here. You're not following all the way back here. You're sawing it off there. And so that's when I say a sawed off driver. And I would love to see you in the sim this winter experiment with a sawed-off driver that you can go to when you're falling backwards.
I feel like I would like that probably a little bit better in the sim anyway because I'm scared to hit driver in there.
It is scary to hit driver in there.
No, I appreciate the feedback. Is definitely something that I need to improve on. So with all of these goals in mind and the various grade rankings that we've discussed amongst ourselves, we toyed with the notion at a certain restaurant on our trip would reflect the meal we would be allowed to order.
Oh, yeah.
I think that we've used the term full send enough tonight that based on the fact that we were mostly successful with most of our goals, I think full send is the play. I think we've earned a good meal.
Earned it?
I think we have.
I think so too. I think
Right after I get a C for my my driver.
Yeah, and right after I finished posting a 48.
I got A's and B's.
You did.
You did.
Well
And
done.
no, but I do have to say, I think we were largely successful in most of our goals. We completed most of what we set out to do. And I've had a fantastic time making the podcast this year,
think the
golfing
hardest-
the weekly. It's been great.
I think all three of us had the hardest time with the handicap. For some reason, we thought it was going to just plummet a
Be
lot more.
easier.
Yeah.
So I do have a question. How good were we at setting the goals? If you had to reset the goals now, knowing what you know now,
I don't think I would have changed anything.
I don't know if I would have changed mine either. Even if I didn't meet some of them, they were still goals that I wanted to accomplish.
Some of my goals are going to sound very much the same next year when we
I'm
get
gonna
to
have
our
to-
goal setting.
I'm going to have one goal that's the same, but the other two are going to be different because, I mean, beating you guys, I've done that, so I don't want to say I'm going to beat you again.
I mean, you will, but
But yeah, I
it
don't
doesn't
want
have
that to be a goal, and
no.
I
I've
wish
got
that-
different goals.
I wish I'd been a little bit less. I think the mental game is something that we need to be more specific. It isn't just my mental game sucks or it's great or something. I think that there needs to be a metric or something.
Okay.
So what I'm hearing, I think that one of the things that we've done to help with our goals is the boss battles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the birding book.
And I haven't finished the boss battle book because
No,
I can't get into a
can't
bunker,
get into a bunker.
and it's making me upset.
I am going to say little teaser for season 2 of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Boss battle level 2.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
They're coming out.
and those will be goals automatically.
those will be tough goals too.
Yeah, I think that we up the ante a little bit on those goals. I feel like most of the boss battles we accomplished fairly easily. The only reason you haven't gotten your bunker beast is because you don't get in the bunker. It's not that you're incapable.
I know.
That one is much harder just because we tend to not get in the bunkers very often.
And
Yeah.
the truth is that there are bunkers in our course, and they are nice bunkers, but it's not a heavily bunkered course. It just
No.
isn't, and it's avoidable trouble.
yeah,
there are very
the bunkers
few,
are pretty small.
There are very few holes where there's bunkers on both sides.
Yeah.
So if you're bunker averse, you can aim slightly right or slightly left and stay out of trouble at our course. That's
You
just
know
the
which-
nature of how it's designed. If they were to take, let's say what's my nemesis hole with the water?
14.
You put a bunker on the right side of that where those trees are. You
Oh,
put a
we're
bunker over
dead.
it. We're dead. That hole becomes so much harder.
You know what other hole would make it more interesting? Hole 13, that par 3 that you can get the kick off the mountain. If there was a bunker hugging that left side where that kick is,
totally different.
would-
Totally different hole.
that would make that hole so much more interesting.
It's interesting if you watch any like PGA Tour events or professional golf in general, they have fairway bunkers that are lined up right where they're trying to land
Yeah,
their
they're
drives.
strategic.
yeah.
It's
We-
strategic. We don't have that on our
We
home
have
course.
greenside bunkers. We don't have fairway bunkers. We
No.
have greenside bunkers. That's
Yeah.
all we've got. And so you're just going to hit them less.
But I do think that, as we set that as a goal, we've learned along the way that there are some other areas on our golf game that really need improvement. So I don't know why, but our course has been throwing us off the front nine way more than the back nine.
Yeah, I don't think
And-
I've played the back 9 twice this year.
It's
It's way easier.
I
It's
think
just easier.
I don't know. It's exposed a lot of holes. How many trees have we talked about hitting?
Yeah.
And if those trees weren't there, how many strokes would that have dropped off your score? And so
Yeah, there's that one day we're like, oh, it's windy. We're lucky we're going off the back or off the front. And then we just kept getting
No,
blown
but-
into the
but
trees.
That's the thing. We talk about this all the time. The front nine's defense is the trees. When we say that course's defense is trees, it is tight and it is unforgiving.
yeah.
If you're on the front nine, and that's what makes the back easier. I think the back has more difficult greens, and I think it's slightly longer. Like you have to hit it further on the back nine. But it just doesn't have 5 billion mature trees. And so
Yeah.
it's so much more forgiving. There are so many more places to miss in the back.
And that's why I thought it was so weird when we went and played Torrey Pines together. I was like, I got all the room in the world here.
Yeah, we were killing it that
and that's
day.
I am so excited for St. George. Because St. George, they're challenging courses, but they're open,
Yeah.
Yes.
right? And we were talking about the season winding down and coming to a close, and for certainly, I mean, we'll have to kind of put the bird book away and bring it out in the spring, and we'll release Boss Battle 2. I have significant opportunities to defeat Clive while we are in St. George. There are many bunkers down there. I will have chances.
The whole place is sand, man.
I know. I will have chances. Does the area of St. George that is like OB, do we count those as bunkers?
I think so, yeah.
Sand? Can OB be sand? I think if you can get OB to save par, that's got to count. That'd be tough to do.
Yeah, definitely.
Birdie Bev, time for another Birdie Bev.
It's time for a Birdie Bev.
Birdie Bev. Oh, yeah.
Birdie Bev.
This is a special Birdie Bev brought to us all the way from Yellowstone National Park by our good friend John Paul.
Wyoming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Wyoming. This was available in the gift shops in Yellowstone National Park. It is called Old Faithful Root Beer. It is in an extremely handsome can.
It is. It's a very good-looking can.
It's got to go on the shelf after, I think.
I think so, too.
It's a National Park Series root beer.
And I noticed on the side it says Grand Teton Brewing.
Who would have thought that was a thing? Now, this is definitely not a diet soda. It has 34 grams of carbs in a can, which is really impressive. I'm kind of wondering how you squeeze 34 carbs into a can this small, but they've found a way, and it's going to be delicious.
Hopefully it tastes better than how Old Faithful looks. I found Old Faithful to be a bit underwhelming.
I love Yellowstone, and it's beautiful. Taste and smell are not things that you really want to focus on.
Oh, yeah, for
when
sure.
you're in that particular park. But I do have to say, I do think that this is at a disadvantage because it's in a can, and I have generally found that a bottled root beer is tastier than a canned root beer.
I don't know if it makes that much of a difference because we've had several drinks where I swear like the bottles weren't sealed quite correctly, and so they've lost a lot of carbonation.
Oh, and a can would probably keep that in?
I don't know.
This has a dark color. That is a dark root beer.
It is a dark color. It's black. Black is
John
the
Paul.
ace of spades.
Oh, I can smell it from here. It smells
John
delicious.
Paul's pouring for us.
Ooh, I can already tell I'm probably going to like this one. At least based on smell alone. If we could taste just with our nose. Ding.
Chink, chink. Ooh, interesting.
Deceptive. I need another hit. I'd laugh if this
That's my number, and I'm sticking with it.
I'd laugh if this ended up being like a great value knockoff. They just do label the bottles, the cans.
Ready,
I got mine.
set, reveal.
I gave it an 8.
I also gave it an 8.
I gave it an 8.5.
Okay.
I could be argued into an 8.5.
Yeah,
but
I'm sticking with my 8, but I'm not upset with that rating.
It has a strong licorice flavor.
It does, and the licorice flavor isn't the only note of complexity. I feel like there might even be a tiny bit. Stick with me here. I think there might be a tiny bit of mint in that.
Read us that ingredient list. I'm curious. Are
That
they
is
actually going to
good.
tell us, or is it just going to be flavorings?
It says that it's not a significant source of dietary fiber.
I would sure hope not.
It's on the side. Like it's up one of the sides I remember seeing.
Good gracious, I have got to have new glasses.
Do you
ready?
need- do you need Eric's L5s?
Spring water, cane sugar, natural and artificial flavors, caramel coloring, sodium benzenate, citric acid. So we don't get to know. They're natural
we don't
flavors.
get to know what the flavorings are.
But hey, if you're ever at Old Faithful and you see this root beer, pick it up. It's
That
not
is
a bad.
That is
Yeah,
a
that was
tasty
pretty
root
good.
beer. Do you know what? It tastes like hanging out in a cabin in the woods.
You know what it tastes like?
Oh, I could see that by the fireplace.
Yeah,
Crack
it's got
open
the
or cold root
little
beer. and-
smoky numminess to it. It finishes really nice. That is a tasty root beer.
It reminds me of the Old Verges.
Oh, okay. I can
Before
see
they
that.
before they
changed the
fiddled with it,
flavor,
it
yeah.
really does taste like that. That's quite good.
Before they sold out.
Yeah.
I didn't think that we would be having this deep of conversation about root beer,
Yeah.
but I'm loving it.
That is really
That's what we're here for.
That's tasty. I really like that.
Yeah.
That's a winner.
Well done,
I'm glad we picked
National
it up.
Park Service.
Cheers, fellas.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of For the Record. We're glad you listened and made it this far. John Paul, Eric, it's been a pleasure to play golf with you this season. I know that we're not quite done, but there's just a feeling of the air. You can feel the season wrapping up.
It's definitely getting darker earlier. It's harder to see the greens towards the end. It's hard.
But I've enjoyed this year. It's been good to ruminate on a lot of these things.
I'm also very excited because I haven't worn a jacket golfing yet this year.
And we'll get to.
I love jacket golf.
I don't know how many of those score roundings, but anyway, all of that to say, thank you also to our listeners. We want to know 2 things from you. Number 1, John Paul asked earlier, number 1 pizza topping. And number 2,
what do you think have been the best segments that we have put out on the podcast this year? We would love to make this podcast. We enjoy doing it. We have a great time being here around the table and talking, but we'd also like you as the listener to enjoy it to a greater level. We may not have the best beat on what you connect with, and we'd love to know, what do you want to hear more? Do you want more Talk Nerdy to Me? Do you get tired of us rambling on and on about our rounds? What is it that you want to hear as a listener?
We're a weird crew. We're nerdy golfers that try root beers. Like,
we're cosplayers. We're golf cosplayers. We've talked about it.
We are a weird bunch. And so, yeah, any of that feedback, what do you want more of?
Your feedback is appreciated.
We'll send out a poll.
Obese.
That's obese.
That's obese. But yeah, we'll send out a poll on our social medias. We're on Instagram, Blue Sky, and
TikTok,
YouTube. It's For The Record _golf, FORE, the record.com. Like, listen, and subscribe.